All right, Bass Battles Strong 6. We've got Ron 6. And it sounds like you've been having a pretty good start to the morning. So you want to fill us in on how the first couple hours are going?
Yeah, I've never been to this lake. So, one of the advantages of that is all you can really do is fish whatever the fish tell you.
Sure.
So I decided to pick one of the creek arms and go about halfway up. And I tied on a little jerkbait today. I think my third cast, I had one about 4. Started working up and down the bank there, and the fish seemed to be off the bank. I figured those females just aren't ready to move up yet. So I stayed off the bank and found a weed line. About 12 casts later, I had one about 5.
Nice. Well, it's a little easier for the fish to tell you what they want when you're hooking 4s and 5s.
Right, yeah. It's nice when they tell you what they want, not what they don't want.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you can dial it in a little bit faster.
Such a contrast from today and yesterday.
Exactly. I mean, Taconich and Mercer fish a lot different, even if the weather was the same, but you add that element of the weather change, and it'll be an interesting one to see what everybody does today. But
yeah, it's amazing the difference. All of these coastal lakes fish extremely different, from 10 Mile to Silk Cruise to Tack to here. They all have their own little niche.
Yep.
But this is a very pretty lake.
It is, and it's nice when it's calm like this too. I'm not going to complain as a cameraman, that's for sure. So what do you think you've had total fish-wise this morning?
I might be sitting on 15, 16 pounds now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've probably caught about 16 fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, they really wanted it kind of dead sticked.
So that's been your key to success, is fishing it a little slower.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did catch one fish on a jig, actually, the sponsored jig.
Okay.
Off that tree too.
On the Jig Masters?
Yeah, I'd taken the Jig Master jig and I just shortened up the skirt a little bit.
Okay.
And threw a crawl on there.
Nice.
And actually that was responsible for my big fish at Tack to help me move on to today.
Perfect.
Which I didn't get a lot of bites on Tack, but that jig got me a good one.
Hey, if you got the right bites, that's all that matters. You're here.
I'm here.
You made it from 12 to 6.
I made it to the...
Now you got to make it to 3.
Now I got to get to 3.
So you're new to Bass Battles, but you've had some pretty good success. There you go. Speaking of success, you gonna come up?
Oh, you're not gonna help me.
Well, you got to catch at least a couple little ones on camera,
That's right. Nice to get one on cam.
Yeah.
So people don't think we're just editing.
Yeah, there you go. Got to get it from cast to catch.
So that's kind of how my morning's been.
It's perfect.
They've been a little bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, usually, you catch the little ones and then you upgrade. But, I guess you do things backwards. Yeah, you just start out with the big ones.
It takes after fishing Tack and getting to a place where you know you're going to get some bites. It sure does feel good, though, when you get to 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Get that confidence.
Yeah, I'd never fished Tack before Bass Battles, so I spent the last couple weekends on it. And you'd go out there and catch 10, 11 fish, and so I'd go back the next day and see if I could duplicate that somewhere else and get 2 bites.
Yeah, that's Taconich.
That's Tack. And that's what I hear.
Yeah.
It's only what I've heard. But a bite turned on there in the afternoon, and if you were privy to it, you caught good fish.
Right.
I wasn't.
Well, you're up against Ross Morris today, and we know that one more win gets you in some money, and you get a shot at the championship.
Championship round.
So how does that feel in your first attempt at Bass Battles to be able to make it as far?
It feels great. I love the format. As exciting as bass fishing is, sometimes hey, it's just not happening for me. I'm out of it. for the day or for the weekend. But with bass battles, you're only fishing against the one guy. So you don't know. For example, I had who did I have? Clint Meisner?
Yeah.
Meisner. So he's been on a tear.
Right.
I've been looking at his scores, and he's getting 20s, 19s, killing it at tack, killing it at 10 mile. So I knew I was up against a good stick.
Yeah, he had 22 at the Silk Goose
right.
for the Emerald Club tournament. Yeah.
And I think he had big bag that day we fished 10 mile.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So I was just hoping to get the bites. But it's an exciting format. I really enjoy it.
So yesterday, I guess, talk us through partway through the day.
Yesterday.
Did you ever think that you had enough, or were you still spooked all the way up until weigh-in?
Not with Clint. You know, when I came in for the half, they threw in the halftime weigh-in.
Yeah, 11:30.
And I had him by a couple pounds.
But at that point, you don't know if he's weighing his best
ones,
two fish or his little
ones,
two fish.
He's got 5 in there.
Yeah.
And I weighed in my 2 because I only had 2.
Yeah.
And then I did notice on tack that if I was going to get a bite, it's more the afternoon bite for me.
Okay. So you had confidence it was going to be going out regardless of what you weighed in until 11:30. You knew there was going to be something changing in the afternoon to help you.
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
So I ran to a probably more like a milk run spot, and there was nobody on it, which either meant that it's been worked over really good or somebody found them somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I was able to get in there and catch 2 more decent fish to help me get past him.
Nice.
And that halftime weigh-in actually refocuses you.
Really? Okay.
Because, you know, all of a sudden I could see, hey, I'm within reach with what he weighed in. You
Yeah.
know, that's why I could see where that could be a really good chess game.
Yeah. A little bit of a poker match there.
A little bit of a poker match. You know, are you showing? Are you holding? But all it did for me is help me refocus and say, hey, you didn't weigh in that much, so I should be able to catch up.
Now, what would have happened yesterday if he would have weighed in 2 6-pounders?
Oh, that would have been in your head. That would have been in the weather. The weather was already in your head.
Yeah.
I found out that Gore-Tex is only about 75% warm.
And it's not rated for a hurricane?
And not hurricane.
Yeah. I think yesterday we pretty much had, I don't care what rain gear you were on, it pretty much got in somewhere.
Yes. And after having that tree fall on me a couple months ago, being up against the bank without wind, I was a little phobic about it.
Yeah. Now, I know that people that are going to be watching this are probably going to say, did he just say a tree fell on him? So, yeah, why don't you give us a little bit of a history on what happened there?
We were fishing, me and my partner were fishing the Frostbite Open.
Yeah, you're at 10 Mile, right?
10 Mile. And I'm not kidding, the day before, we were fishing all these trees that had fallen in, and we went, man, can you imagine if one of those hit your boat? And lo and behold, we were fishing up in Coleman, and you hear a little bit of a crackle, and you look up, and here comes a tree. And it looks like it's gonna hit you right on the nose of the boat. So I moved up to that little spot right there, and my non-boater moved up next to me because it was coming across the front of the boat. And it missed us. It hit just the back of the boat, but when it hit, it popped me into the water.
Jeez.
In the middle of February.
Yeah.
Full snow gear.
Wow.
In the water. And it was at the end of the tournament. So.
Which it doesn't necessarily matter whether it's the beginning or the end or what, but if you're in the water in February, that's a dangerous situation.
Well, yeah, it was dangerous. I saw that my boater got a little nervous, and I said, the first thing I try to do is calm down and assess the situation. Like,
sure.
Do I have to try to kick my shoes off right now?
Yeah.
Should I try to get out? But I had a good hold, and I wasn't dizzy or tired, and I just said, I'm just going to work myself to the back, and as a team, we'll get me in.
Yeah.
There was a boat across, and they came over too to check on us.
It's an amazing situation, though, that you were able to work through it. Luckily, nobody was hurt too bad, and
right.
The boat took a little bit of a beating on it, but
a little bit of a beating, yeah.
And now you're here fishing bass battles with the possibility of making a championship. So,
in the same boat.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't had it repaired just yet. But it's,
Yeah.
I figured I'll wait till after season.
Well, hey, if you keep on loading the boat, you may just want to leave things as is, you know.
Leave it just the way it is.
A couple of lucky dings here and there might be all right.
Yeah, but this format, I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure. I've never fished anything like it before. But,
Yeah.
you know, next year I'm going to try to get the word out myself and try to get us, you know, a lot of people for the fishing.
Yeah. Yeah, our seeding event this year, we had about double the field planning to come to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was because of the conditions that we had leading up to it that caused it to be a little fewer people, but you know, we'll take what we can get. It's still a good group of guys to fish against. I mean,
Great group of guys.
You are always going to be up against somebody you got to have your A game on.
Always.
Yeah.
Whether it's 40 or 4, you know, there's still somebody. That's what I enjoyed about it, is with all the anglers and the talent that we have in this All-Stars, somebody's going to find them.
Yeah.
Somebody always finds them. Even on the hard days.
Yep.
You come in with, you know, like, you know, Clint came in with a light bag yesterday, and Jeremy Fashion had 20.
Yeah.
And that was a tough battle.
Yeah.
Because his partner had, who he was fishing against, thought he won it because he had a solid 19.
Kevin Heitzman had a little over 18, and that's another thing about bass battles, that good, bad, or otherwise, it's a possibility that you could end up putting a solid bag together, but you may have the second best bag of the day, which was like yesterday.
Right.
We've seen that twice now.
Oh, yeah,
Second
that was a
best
good
bag of the
battle.
day, and they go home because they got beat by their competitor.
Yeah. And it was good to see Michael, you know, a kid getting into the sport,
Yeah.
having some success.
And he'd never been on Tackinish before, had like 11 pounds on a lake that he hadn't been on. So, I mean, and on Tackinish as well, that's a tough thing to do,
That's a tough, yeah. That
you know, and getting beat by Nathan Bromley, you know, you can't really fault anybody for that. The guy had a 6-pounder, you know.
He had a big one, yeah.
If you
He had
get
a nice fish.
if you get beat by somebody who has that kicker, you can't really hold yourself to blame too much.
You really can't. They have the kicker. You have to hope to grind back to the top.
Yeah. So since Mercer is, did you look at maps or anything how did you kind of dial in at least where you were going to start?
I was so tired, and I had to find a laundromat yesterday.
Yeah, because
Dry my
everything was
clothes.
wet. Yeah.
So I dried clothes, went to dinner, and had plans to get on Google and just, you know, see where I want to start. It looked like 10 Mile to me, so I figured I was going to press it the same way, which to me, I feel like the fish haven't committed to beds yet, but they're almost there. They're almost home. So they're still off the bank a little bit, and they're not all the way in the back. I bet you can get in there and you can find them back there, but the big concentrations I felt would still be off a little bit.
Well, and obviously you figured that part of it out pretty
So
quick.
far,
So
it's
yeah,
working.
so far it's working good.
So I just pulled in here and said, you know what, I think I wanted to start on some kind of point with a little bit of a mini cove to it, and that was the first one I had come to. And it was a good one to start on, I'll tell you that.
So whether it's a little bit of beginner's luck or a little bit of just kind of knowing exactly what you wanted to look for this time of year, you'll take both.
I'll take them both. It's nice when you do put something together and it does work.
And oh yeah.
Mentally, it feels good to say, hey, wow, maybe I do learn a little something every year instead of forget something every year. My dad was a tournament fisherman, so
Really?
yeah, he fished California Delta and all the Motherlode series.
Okay.
So I got introduced to it when I was about 8.
Nice.
Fishing his club events with him. And
So you know how important it is to keep the youth coming up and getting them hooked on it.
and that's kind of, everybody's got that dream of going pro, but I'm not so sure I would be able to replace my income.
Yeah.
you know, my kids were getting older at the time when I had that shot. And now I just decided we need more kids doing it. You know, I need more kids with a fishing pole in their hand, like I was saying last time, rather
Yeah.
than a cell phone or a Xbox 360, you know.
Sure.
The things that we see, you know, it's sad, but less than 1% of the population are going to see that. Pre-fishing tack last week, I saw a bald eagle not having it with a golden eagle in his space. So they were fighting. And you know, it's beautiful, and
That's pretty cool to see.
that's one good thing about getting up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we do generally get up a little bit before most of the
Yeah.
population, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we go to work to rest.
It's the second time I've heard that today, actually. Yeah, I think that's a pretty common thought. Well, we couldn't have got a more beautiful day on Mercer than this morning. We don't know what the afternoon holds, but
Yeah, we did get a good break here.
yeah.
Boy, was it not looking good last night.
Yeah, I thought for sure we were in for more of the same as
Yeah.
yesterday. And
Yesterday, you know, like I said, I fished for a long time, and I fished in some places that have some big rain, like thunderstorms of Arizona monsoon stuff. But those are 40 minutes, an hour, and you usually do have to hide because it gets pretty dangerous. But I think yesterday was probably one of the worst 8.5 hours.
steady,
of
consistent.
rain.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
consistent, heavy rain. Really heavy.
Yeah, I think you're not alone in feeling that as well. We got some pretty good footage yesterday of just the amount of rain coming down and blowing sideways.
Yeah.
It was just insane that it could be that steady for so long.
Oh yeah, there was a time in Mallard where you had to get on the big motor just to hold position for a little bit till that part of the storm blew a little.
Yeah.
And like I said, I did want to get away from the trees. So,
Yeah.
so there was that.
I thought about that a couple of times yesterday if there was times where, because you could see on a whole bank where they were moving. And I was wondering if you were
Oh, yeah.
fishing offshore a little bit.
Yeah, I got a little offshore on that one.
Yeah.
And you know, I had my hat on, my rain hat on, so you can't really hear.
Yeah.
And last time when that tree came down, you heard it coming. It crushed and cracked, but the wind was so loud and I had that hat on that it just...
You keep looking around wondering if I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
looking up there and oh man, these things are really swaying. And of course I'm thinking, they've got to be a little weak for a snowstorm.
Yeah.
But
Well, and last year we had Mercer on the schedule, and there was a not avalanche, mudslide.
landslide, huh?
Yeah, landslide. Took out part of the road and everything, so we ended up changing locations. But kind of wondered about that this morning when we got up, wondering what the roads were going to be like, because it was just so heavy all day yesterday and through the night.
yeah.
So it was definitely a concern this morning, wondering what it was going to be like coming in. So happy we're able to be here now and having it be calm.
Yes, me too. It wasn't bad, the road.
No, it wasn't bad at all. So walk me through the thought process here as you're kind of switching through. I've seen you go through the rotation from the jerk bait to the jig. Now you're
Yeah.
going
Now
through the
I'm
drop
working
shot.
on the drop shot. Last week on 10 Mile, I was working some shallow fish, and they were only good for about 30 minutes in the morning, and then they'd shut off. And, you know, we were fishing tournament there, so I switched over to North Lake, and it just so happened I pulled up to one of the docks, and I could see some fish sunning themselves underneath. So again, I thought, okay, and that was part of what I learned for today. I thought these fish haven't moved up; they're still sitting out on the edges here. So I grabbed this drop shot because it had seen, those fish had probably seen a couple days of jigs. And we ended up putting like 16 pounds in the boat in the last half of the day with the drop shot on the edge of these docks. So I did catch one, about 3.5 over there on the drop shot. And a lot of times I'll come in because I'm coming in behind somebody. and throw a little drop shot in there.
Okay, makes sense. So what tells you in a spot, so I know you've stuck with one area pretty long today. What tells you in an area that it's time to get up and run to a different spot?
I'm about ready to get over to that point there.
Okay.
Just because it's been a little slow. It was really hot on that, a little closer to the main lake. And I also noticed that goes from 15 to 5 feet in a hurry. This is a flat, so I'm thinking they're sitting there waiting to come into here.
So you're just kind of going through in your mind, visualizing where the fish you think should be at staging up in this time of year. Okay.
Yeah, and so far I haven't seen any fish on beds. I haven't. Both of my big fish are fat, but they don't have, their tails aren't really worked over yet. And I think they're just sitting out there looking for a little more food before they start laying up.
Okay.
Is what I'm hoping.
All right.
Seems to be working so far.
Well, good stuff. It's definitely good to get your thought process on some of these things and just kind of get the insight into angler's perspective. You know, we are all a little bit different in what we're looking for, and in a lot of ways it's funny because we all find some of the same things, but we may fish it a little bit differently.
Yeah. And we're all chasing the same pea-brain fish.
That is for sure. And for some reason, there's times where they make us feel like we're the ones with the pea brain.
Most of the time.
You think they should just be doing this? Why aren't they? But like you said, it's nice when you put it together and they're actually doing what you thought they were going to do. They were in the right spots.
They wanted to eat. This is good weather for them to eat.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really, that storm was windy and wet and it was coastal, but it wasn't really cold.
Yeah.
And that will usually get them to eat. I imagine the next moon cycle, they're either going to move up or there's going to be some really big bags being weighed around that time.
Yeah.
Where those females really start coming out.
So looking forward to those next few weeks. What do you have on your tournament schedule? What have you got going on in the next couple of months?
I have the 2-day 503 club tournament
At 10 Mile?
At 10 Mile.
Okay.
Next weekend. Then the weekend after that, we have Umpqua Valley Bassmasters. That's my club. That's our Silkus tournament. So that's pretty much what I have set up. I was going to take the next weekend off because my son plays baseball and I was going to watch a tournament, but the fish needed me.
The fish were calling your name.
The fish were calling me.
Yeah, it gets to be tough this time of year. There's definitely a lot of tournaments loaded up, and the time that we most often know that the fish are going to be moving up.
Mm-hmm. But I really like, one of the things I appreciate about the bass battles is it gets quaint, gets to be a few boats so we can get to, you know,
Places like this. Yeah.
I mean, this is a great venue. You know, you just can't put 75 on it.
Yeah.
But,
or 25.
but
you can put 6 on it.
6.
Yeah.
We're down to 6, right?
Yeah, we're down to 6. Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier to fish some of the places that are a little out of the way. You can tell the road coming in here wasn't necessarily made for a lot of boats coming through.
Oh, no. Yeah. I thought Art was trying to lose us or something. I thought this is the last time they see me ever. It just kept going.
Yeah. Going. Well, we're definitely glad to have you in Bass Battles, and we'll probably cut the coverage short here in a little bit, but appreciate you joining us this year and making it as far as you have. You have any folks at home or any particular people you want to talk through at the end of the deal here?
I'm fortunate enough to have a wife that encourages me, Melanie.
There you go.
To do whatever I'm passionate about, and one of those is fishing, and she's always given me my space. As a matter of fact, if I get a little cranky around the house, she can tell it's probably time for you to get out there and do some fishing.
Well, it's always nice to have that support. That
That's
makes
right.
a big difference. It can make your time on the water a lot more comfortable.
It sure can, yeah.
Yeah. Good deal.
Thanks, Bobby.
Well, like I said, thank you for being here with us and giving us a little glimpse into how your morning went. We'll look forward to seeing what those fish weigh at the end of the day.
That's
It sounds like you've got some decent ones in there. What do you think you have so far? That last one didn't help you, so.
Upper 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Lucky I'll touch 16.
We'll see how close you are if you're able to upgrade.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Nice. There you go.
That's
Choked
how we
it.
jig.
It's on the Jig Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Nice job.
He ate it.
Yeah, that was a quick one. I was reaching for the camera to try to turn it on. And it was like, you just pitched it in there and it ate it. Well done. Now the big question is that going to cull for you?
Yeah, I know. It's, I think it calls one of mine.
Well, it's good enough for us to get a little insight into what the live wheels look like.
Yes. 3-1. So it comes out. I think this is where it gets tricky. He's starting to shrink already. Wow, that's a 3 saves. 4. Maybe 4. 5. There's one of them in here. Okay, so this is number 6. I think it's 2 comes out.
You got a pretty good limit.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely skinnier.
that's for sure coming out. 2 is.
Balance beam never lies unless you've got your knee on it. Looks like a good call.
I just have to make sure that's my call. 6. I already checked. Yeah. I can live with that. Okay, so I gotta live with.
Shoot, and this is Mercer. It's still early. You could cull all of those out at the end of the day. Good job. Putting one back to go and get famous a different day.
Yeah.
Well done.
Now the culling gets so that's twice we got on this boat.
Yeah.
Fish, yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking records.
Well, at least that was the first cull we were able to see, though.
Was it?
Yeah. It's nice having the Minn Kota with the spot lock on there.
It's so
you can,
nice, yeah.
You can spend a little bit of time, even if it was windy, you'd be able to
Yeah, that's a.
jump down there, do that, and know that you're not going to get blown back into the bank.
You know, I haven't seen a lot of game changers in this sport in a while, but that's one of them.
Yeah.
That Minn Kota. And you know, I fished motor guide for years, and when the Fortrex came out, I switched because it was supposedly made your batteries last longer. So I made the switch, and then when this came out, I made the switch again. and it is nice.
Yeah.
It really shines with that spot lock, but spot lock will not take the place of blades
Yeah.
because of that surge, that 3-foot surge that it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he ate that chick.
Yeah, he did.
Well, win or lose, it's been a fun day.
There you go.
Sure, I can't ask.
As long as you're having fun, then you're winning anyway.
So as soon as we moved out of that flat, back on another little point, see a better fish.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're in there yet. I think they're sitting here, ready to go in.
Makes sense. You're starting to put
I'm
it all together. I think I might hear my ride.
Is that your ride?
Nope. Or is it? Yep, it is.
Well, good luck, John.
Well, like I said, it's been fun getting a peek into your morning. It's been awesome.
Bobby,
Absolutely enjoy being on the boat with you. Good coverage, and hopefully we'll get a shot at more coverage in the championships.
hopefully so.
All right, well, we'll see you weighing.
Yes, we'll see you then.
All right, we've got Ross Morris in semifinal against Ron 6. Two fish.
You say 2.5 pounds?
Yeah.
3.72.
372.
More than you thought.
Well, if it wasn't for having some trolling motor troubles and some big motor troubles and
Literally, and I can turn them loose here.
Yeah.
I caught
yeah.
them here. Right here. You guys. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you fishing with us.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank
Thanks.
you.
Oh well.
There's
Here
always
again.
there's always another shot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You made it a good distance though in bass battles for your first time here
Yeah.
though, so
Yeah.
can't hang your head about that.
No, thanks.
All right, Ron 6 versus Ross Morris. Got to beat a 372. If you want to weigh a big fish, we still have $80 on the line for big fish today.
You say you're buying lunch, right, though?
If I got it, I don't know if I got it.
How'd you do?
It's a good one.
You want to weigh your big fish first?
Yeah, let me see where is that.
All right, big fish.
Big fish.
Mm-hmm.
481.
481.
481, big
All right.
fish. Okay, so you're moving on.
So that officially moves you into the finals.
That's it.
Let's go ahead and weigh the rest of them. So how many fish do you think you culled today? 7?
7 times.
Nice. Good job.
Maybe. I had a lot of fun out here today.
I think you're probably going to be back to Mercer, huh? All right, see what the overall weight is here. And again, after we're done, we will, through the week, I'll be getting schedules from each of the anglers that move on, and we'll set a date and a location for the finals. $15.86.
1586.
All right. Good job.
1586.
It's a good bag.
Sorry from holding up all these bags.
All right. Congrats to Ron 6 for moving on.